Hello and welcome, friends. I'm glad you're here. We're back with episode 21. So, here we are entering Curse of Strahd once again. Previously, I told you guys that any comments would generate a luck token, and every 2 likes would generate a luck token for our courageous heroes marching around Barovia. So, looking over at the last video, we got a couple of comments and a handful of thumbs ups. So shout out to you guys. Thanks, Space Cowboy and Mr. Strongman. I appreciate you. So there's 1 luck token for each of you there, adding to our pool, and then we have 5 total. Check my math, but divided by 2, that's 2.5. So we're just going to round down and add 2, so we're full up. We'll see what this can bring to us in our adventures. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, if you guys wouldn't mind, we'll do the same rules again. So every comment will generate a luck token, and every 2 likes will generate luck tokens as well. So please give us a like. Please comment down below. If you can't think of anything fancy to say, just say hi, hello. Let me know that you're enjoying it or what you would change. Just sparking a conversation. Just glad to chat with you guys. If you're feeling particularly bold, go ahead and click the share button and copy the link. The great thing is I've heard that counts as a share, so you don't even have to do anything with it. Just click the share button, copy the link, and that's all you got to do. If you're really want to, you can share that with a friend or a community that you think might enjoy this content. But, like I said, you don't really have to. We're just here having a good time in the basement. No stress. No, well, aside from facing vampire lords, I suppose. So, without further ado, we can get started. Previously, Irina survived an attack by Strahd. She had her constitution drained, significant cost to her character. She's down to, I think, 6 constitution now. Let's grab her character. Let's take a look. Irina. I didn't mark it down here, but it's probably in these notes here. So, foolish me. Gotta keep better notes, but guys. Let's see here. After the vampire attack, we ended up having Astrid turn the vampire, Strahd, which earned her a spot on his basically on his memory, essentially. Strahd's looking for powerful characters that might be able to take his place, and the fact that Astrid was able to pull that out, absolutely phenomenal. Strahd's a powerful vampire. He's not used to facing somebody that's capable of turning him, so that's for sure got Strahd's attention. And yeah, we'll have to see what that turns out. Still kind of looking for a some sort of relationship tracker for this campaign. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put something together or how that's going to look. I haven't decided yet, but that's neither here nor there at this point. After turning Strahd, the party got up in the morning, somewhat sleep deprived, and headed toward the Wachter house, where they stood in front of it. And that's where our tale begins. Let's see here. So we got our heroes. Everybody's together. They didn't want to split the party because Irina is down pretty far. She was at 9 constitution. Oh, 6, right there. I did mark it. That was smart. Once. Probably a record. Alright, let's see. So our heroes stand before the Wachter house, and just as a reminder, we'll read the description one more time. The Wachter house seems disgusted with itself. A slouching roof hangs heavy over furrowed gables, and moss-covered walls sag and bulge under the weight of the vegetation. As the heroes study the house's sullen countenance, they hear the edifice actually groan. Only then do they realize the extent to which the house hates what it has become. Gertruda kind of bites at her lips nervously. And she says, "Are you certain that this is wise?" Ismark shrugs and says, "My sister said that she met the Lady Fiona previously. She seemed kind, and she has enough money that we might be able to find some silvered weapons here for our endeavors. Without them, we will certainly be defeated. The vampires can only be hurt by silver, so and we're on a bit of a time crunch. We need to get this taken care of, and from there we must see if we can gather the relics from Henrik, the coffin maker." So the party thinks about it for a minute. Dendor loses patience, I guess, and he marches up to the door, grumbling, and he takes the big brass, door handle or knocker, and just slams it against the door, super loud. Gertruda and even Irina actively flinch at every hit against the doors. It's just boom, 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 and echoes into the house beyond. So, who eventually answers the door, I suppose? Let's see, a servant opens the door. He's a well-dressed individual. He looks to be like a butler of some sort. And he looks at the parties individually. "May I help you?" he says in his deep, kind of craggy voice. Irina will actually be the one to step forward. Or, no, I don't think she will. She's probably still feeling a little bit ill. So I think it will probably be Ismark who will say, "I am Ismark Kolyanovich. This is my sister Irina. The Lady Fiona met her the other day. She said to call on her when we had some time, and so we do now." And the servant raises an eyebrow, and he says, "You are fortunate. The Lady Fiona Wachter has mentioned Irina. Come inside, all of you. I will have some tea put on." And he ushers them into the house. There's kind of like a tight vestibule that they get into first, as they enter the house. And the individual will guide them It's going to be Area K. So he guides them through the front door. He helps them with their traveling cloaks and whatnot. Gets everything hung up. Takes them through a northern door and hangs immediately left and enters this kind of shared space. That's kind of a dining room and parlor. Let's see here. So they enter this this dining room and the combined space. So they see an ornate dining table that stretches the length of the room. A crystal chandelier hangs above it imperiously. The silverware is tarnished, the dishes chipped, yet all are still quite elegant. 8 chairs, their backs adorned with sculpted elk horns, surround the table. Arched windows made of a latticework of iron and glass look out onto the small fog-swept estate. The parlor has 3 elegant couches surrounding an oval table made of black glass. All are set in front of a blazing hearth, above which hangs the portrait of a smirking nobleman, sporting a broken nose and a tangle of hair graying at the temples. Several smaller portraits hang on the northern wall. All right, so the servant gestures to the table, or sorry, to the couches, and says, "Wait here. I will have the tea put on, and I will summon the Lady Wachter. It may be some time, so we'll be certain to bring some refreshment." And the butler will bow and leave the room, leaving the group to their own devices for a moment. Ismark will go ahead and sit at one of the couches. Dendor will probably go and meander and look at the fire, I think. Or maybe examine the table. And Irina is probably tired, so she'll probably take a sofa seat, as will Astrid. Marina will stay standing, I think. She's a little bit uncomfortable still in this whole situation. So I think that's kind of where we're at for the party. Eventually, the butler does return with a small tray of snacks, basically. Just a little thing to keep them occupied. And he also brings a decanter of water and glasses. And he'll also indicate to some cupboards to the north this, and says, "Please help yourselves to any of the drink there. It's a little bit stronger in nature. I will be back soon with your tea." And he leaves once again. Astrid will, or I think it'll be Ismark that will kind of raise an eyebrow. And he says, "This place seems understaffed, does it not?" And Astrid will respond, I hadn't thought about it." She looked around. It is kind of a large house for just one butler. I would assume that there would be at least a handful of staff to take care of visitors and handle the dissemination of food and drink. Interesting to see just the butler doing it. And eventually the butler returns, and he sets out some places for all the tea. And then finally, coming from the door, is Lady Wachter. She swoops in. "Ah, my friends. I cannot thank you enough for entertaining tea time with me. Please, please help yourselves. I see that the butler has already brought all the refreshment. I will summon him if we need anything else," she inquires. I think the party will just shake their heads. No, I don't think we need anything. Now, what follows is probably some small talk as they kind of introduce each other. Kind of round by round. This, I think, will kind of set the stage. So, instead of role-playing it all out, I think we'll role-play it all out with the dice. I want to see if they kind of start on the correct foot, basically, with Lady Wachter. So we're going to take some average charismas I'm just going to use averages because I don't really want to roll 6 times, but it looks like it's a plus 0 for average. So we'll do a charisma check. A 19. Wow. Fantastic. All right. So Lady Wachter will be somewhat impressed, but she has her own agenda, so she also will kind of put on a little bit of a show. So we need a charisma check from her as well. Let's go ahead and find her stats. See if there's anything in LichHouse's unofficial monster conversion for the Lady Wachter. And I think in the future, I have some specific things that I would like to focus on in Vallaki. I might do an episode on rebuilding Lady Wachter from the ground up, stats-wise, to kind of make her more of an interesting character, because she just uses like a priest stat, I think, in the Curse of Strahd book. Not anything super amazing. Alright, it looks like, yep, they're just using the priest stat is all that they're going to do with Lady Wachter. Just check one more time. Yeah, so I'm going to say her charisma is pretty decent for the time being, and without rolling it specifically right now, I'm just going to say it's probably about a +2. I think that's pretty good. She got a 17 +2, so a 19. They're matching each other's energy, the party and Lady Wachter. So they give out their introductions. They kind of maybe do a little bit of bantering back and forth, just some polite jokes and things. They're appreciative of the food and drink, the refreshments, and Lady Wachter regales them with a story from her last book club, where the one individual was so taken by the book that they were reading that they actually passed out, and everybody has a good chuckle. So Lady Wachter will broach the subject of what brings you to Vallaki. If I am not mistaken, and if you don't mind me tipping my hand a little bit, Ismar Kolyanovich, this is the son of the burgomaster of Barovia, is it not? And Ismark will nod sadly and say, unfortunately, my father met his untimely demise at the hands of some illness. He lies. We'll go ahead and see how well he lies. That's a 14. And we'll see how well Lady Wachter catches on. She knows he's lying. So we're just going to note that Ismark lies about his father's death. And Lady Wachter knows. Does she know how he actually died? I'm going to roll on the Oracle. No, she does not. It technically got a 10. So let's go ahead and pull out this and see if that gives us something other than a no or whatever. Let's see here. We got a 73, which is assist. And we got an 86. Assist people. So, let's see. Assist people. I think that she does actually know a little bit about the father's death. But she's going to play that pretty close to her chest. And she says, I am sorry to hear this. It is a dark time we live in, between the death of your father and the ungodly troubles that Valaki faces. I will congratulate you on becoming Burgomaster, but I am sorrowful for the nature around your sudden promotion. Let's see here. So, Ismark will thank her, and he'll say, I had perhaps a few favors to ask of you, Lady Wachter. I'm afraid that, I have come mostly empty-handed, and I seek your assistance. And Lady Wachter will raise an eyebrow. Oh, I would be happy to do what I can for the Burgomaster of Barovia. And Ismark will thank her, nods, and he says, Our needs are twofold. The young Gertruda here. Should we, I'm afraid that I must take my sister to safety, and I cannot drag the young Gertruda with us to, from one side of Barovia to the other. I would like it very much if you could watch over her in this house until I can return and collect her. Gertruda looks a little bit surprised. Does she like that or not, is the question. Let's see, I'm just going to do an oracle roll. Does she like that? No, she does not. She doesn't like that at all. And she goes to protest, but Ismark and basically the whole party will just put up their hands and be like, Astrid will tell Gertruda, look, I think this is for the best. We'll make sure that we'll make sure that you're taken care of here, and as soon as our business is done, we'll come back and collect you, and we'll take you back home once it's safe. Let's see here. So we'll do Astrid will do a charisma check. We'll see if that's enough to persuade Gertruda to not be offended by this. Ooh, a 2. Let's go ahead and first spend our first luck token. And an 18. Okay, so Gertruda is pacified. Let's see. Lives at Wachter House. Now the question is Fiona amicable to that? Fiona has some things that she wants done around the town, but she needs to get on their good graces first. So she will say, I think she'll want Ismark to owe her a favor. So she will say, of course, I would love to take care of the girl. It has been some time since a young woman has walked around this house. So the party thanks her again, and then Ismark will say, and that brings us to the last order of business. I was wondering if you had any silvered weapons in your possession. Silvered weapons, my goodness. Lady Fiona will say. She's going to act shocked. How well does she act? She's going to be the red dice. And how well does Ismark or the party pick up on it? So she's a 19, but they're at 20. However, let's see. It's going to be against wisdom. +1, -2, +3. It's going to be even Stevens. We need a deal breaker here. Let's do a dice off instead of a tie. All right, she got a 17, the party got a 2. So that means that she feigns shock, but she's already kind of calculating and putting this together. Irina is clearly drained and withdrawn, probably subject to a vampire attack. Asking for silvered weapons is obviously a something of a red flag, essentially, for Lady Fiona. She knows that there is something supernatural, either vampires or werewolves, and Ismark is up to something. So, what does that mean for our party? Fiona will consider it for a moment, and she says, I have the family heirloom that is a silvered weapon that may be of use to you, but it is very dear to me. And Ismark will say, I understand completely. If you do not wish to part with it, I understand. If there's any way I could use it and then return it when I'm done with it, I will do my best to keep it intact. So, Fiona will consider it for a moment longer. What can she get out of this? So she has that. Does she have any other silvered weapons? She does not, but she knows of silvered weapons. So does it have something to do with the Burgomaster? I'm rolling at advantage. I got a 20. So that's a very yes, very much. She says, I can give it to you on one condition. The Burgomaster has been a little bit of a tyrant lately. Unfortunately, he suspects that I dislike his activities, so he has his sheriffs and his guard watching me. But if you could release some people from the stocks, I will give you the weapon. And furthermore, I know that the Burgomaster also has weapons that will be of some use. The party looks at each other, and they kind of lean forward. Ismark says, upsetting the Burgomaster is it's a hard thing to accept. Marina will add, we didn't come to make powerful enemies here. I don't know if it's wise to take the Burgomaster on immediately, or so up front. Dendor suggests, let's hear out the information, and we'll find out if it's something that we can do, or perhaps we need to find a burglar to help us. I think we can think of one already, he says, indicating Milivoj. Lady Fiona will nod and says, thank you, Master Dendor. But yes, the Burgomaster, he has an extreme dislike for Strahd. And as such, that means that he has perhaps overstepped his bounds, and has begun collecting a small amount of a small artillery of weapons to give to his soldiers should they ever be attacked by vampires. Now, this is an at-will thing, my sources tell me. So, until the time comes, he is keeping them hidden. And the group looks at each other and looks back at Fiona. And Dendor says, go on. Let us see here. I'm just looking for a good place to throw this and see if there's a place that the heroes can enter in, basically. Gotta love the nature of solo role-playing and random rolls, because I wasn't expecting this one. Attic and roof. Okay. So he said, or Fiona says, I believe he is storing them either in the attic or with his guard, Isaac Strasny. So, Isaac, he, let's see, what is his room? He sleeps on the upper floor, towards the center of the house, from what I understand. The attic is going to be perhaps your best bet. You could potentially climb up onto the roof and perhaps enter through a window or make an entrance that might serve you. But allow me to gather the weapon for you. And this is the information that I can give you. The rest I leave in your capable hands. I will tell you this. If you anger the burgomaster, I can promise you that you will have me at your side. I have significant wealth and capability here in Vallaki. The burgomaster and I have been doing this dance for a number of years. So, should something happen, I can step in for you. So you need not fear having a powerful ally this day. And if you can get away from the burgomaster hidden, you don't even have to worry about a powerful enemy. And she'll pause for a moment, and then she'll kind of give a curtsy, and then she'll walk out of the room. So a couple of questions here. The party is offered a hard deal. They need to free... They need to free the people of the stocks. And they need to do some thieving. Let's see here. Astrid and Marina are probably the least happy about it. Irina, maybe. Ismark's ready to go. He'll do anything for his sister, so he doesn't care. And Dendor is just, he's very neutral. He's not super happy about making an enemy, but it seems important for the time being. So I think the party will likely thumbs up this situation. So eventually, so they're probably chatting this out essentially, and eventually Lady Fiona will return. Now, who does this weapon benefit? We have Ismark, Dendor, Marina, Astrid, or Irina. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go ahead and roll a d6 and grab our purple party dice. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll benefit Astrid, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or Dendor. I should have chosen some way to go with this. We'll just mix it up because I'm a mix-up. So here's what we'll do. We'll just kind of gather these sheets around. I do like the randomness of it. All right, so we will be going from the back to the front. Let's go ahead and roll a 2, 1, 2. Who do we have? It is Marina. Okay. That works very well. All right, so in walks Lady Wachter, and she has a sword in a scabbard, basically. And she walks up to Marina and gently hands it over. This sword served my family very well over the years. Please take care of it. And Marina will nod. She'll take it and she'll strap it onto her hip next to the other sword. And she thanks Fiona. Our party will take their leave after a little bit more niceties. And they'll say goodbye to Gertruda for now. Gertruda's not super excited about it, but they're going to say their goodbyes for the moment. And then they will gather their things, thank Lady Fiona once again. They'll tell her that they will do what they can on the prisoners in the stocks as soon as they can. And then they will depart. So the group heads out. They look up. They can see that it's kind of the afternoon sun. So what's the plan? Marina asks. The group has two options, the way I see it. I think that they can potentially spend some time going over to the burgomaster's house to see if they can steal more silvered weapons, or they can utilize the sun to their advantage and go to the coffin maker immediately, basically, because the sun is kind of weak in Barovia. It's almost more of like a white light, so it can be harsh on the eyes. But those are kind of their options. I'm gonna say it's probably pretty 50-50. I think that they will likely go ahead and go to the coffin maker. Well, I think it's 50-50. Let's go ahead and roll a D percentile. 51 or higher. They're gonna go to the burgomaster, I think, and lower they will go to the coffin maker's shop. All right, folks, we got a 78. So they're gonna go check out the burgomaster's house. All right. So they make their way to the towards the burgomaster's house. And let's find out where exactly that is. I believe, pull out the map of Vallaki. So our heroes were here. And the burgomaster's house, I believe, is here. Let's double check that assumption real fast. We're not too concerned with making too many mistakes out here, but we want to try to keep continuity when we can. And a quick N3, a quick check. N3, yep, that's the burgomaster's house. Yeah. That looks like it's the one. Alright, so our party walks out of the home of Lady Wachter, and they'll go ahead and go down the road, hang a left, kind of walk out in front of the Blue Water Inn. And I think they'll pick up a raven along the way. Basically, as they're walking, a raven starts following them. And they circle down, and they'll go ahead and just kind of walk past slowly. They can see that there's guards outside. Nothing too heavy, just a couple of guards at the gate or at the front door, essentially, to prevent anybody from just walking up. And they'll examine it. What is the best option here? Nobody there is really sneaky, and everybody's going to be awake in the burgomaster's house. The walls themselves are probably very climbable if the house is anything like Lady Wachters. Walls of plastered stone that display many scars. Yep. So let's start there. They go up to the burgomaster's mansion, and they see that this mansion has walls of plastered stone that display many scars where the plaster has fallen away from age and neglect. Drapes cover every window, including a large arched opening above the mansion's double entrance doors. And they see that, like, guards are walking in and out. There's been a couple more criminals that are cited for malicious unhappiness. There's men and women carrying bundles of twigs, that kind of thing. This might be a job. This might be a job for Astrid, if we want to try to send her in. Is there a back door? There is a back door, so that's going to be a problem. I think the party will go about, and they'll kind of come at the north door, or sorry, the north wall, I think. I think that's going to be their best option. They need to get up on the roof, basically. And from there, I think that they could get into the attic. So I think that's probably their best bet. Astrid is wearing leather armor, which is great. I think that she'll go ahead and the party will kind of look around. There's a couple of houses and stuff around, so maybe they're just kind of hanging out in like a blind spot, essentially, just kind of watching the house. They'll give Astrid a rope, and she'll walk over to the house and just start kind of climbing it, essentially. Oh, this is broad daylight, guys. Is this a wise idea? Astrid is very wise. I don't think that she would try to climb this wall. There's no way to hide, I suppose. Unless she climbs up the chimney in the back. This just looks like a bad idea. I think our group is going to say no. I think the best option is just, if they're going to do something, it's either the coffin maker's house during the day or the burgomaster's mansion in the night, basically, to take advantage of darkness. Climbing that in the middle of the day, I don't think that works. So we're going to cross that off. The party talks to each other. They say, I don't think so. And they will head over toward the coffin maker's shop. They just need to get that part done, basically, and then they can take a bit longer to figure out the rest. Alright, our group goes to the coffin maker's shop. This uninviting shop is 2 stories tall and has a sign shaped like a coffin above the front door. All of the window shutters are closed up tight, and a deathly silence surrounds the establishment. All right. Ismark shrugs and says, I don't suppose it hurts to knock. Perhaps Henrik will give up the relics. So he'll knock. And coming from inside, they hear Henrik yell, Go away, we are closed. Ismark will knock again, and Henrik will say, Go away. What are our options? Not many. Not on the character sheets, anyways. Alright, Ismark will yell through the door. We know you have the relics, Henrik. Make this easy on you. Don't make me go get the burgomaster. I would hate to get him involved in your affairs. Henrik will say, go away, leave me alone. Alright, I think that's it. I think Marina looks at Ismark. He nods once. She'll look around. Draw her blade. Maybe she won't draw her blade yet. And she will bash down the door. She's using her grit ability, so she gets advantage. A 14 beats the DC of 12. So she leans back and delivers a sharp kick and just busts into the house. And Ismark is right behind her. Henrik, we know what you have and we need it now. And he offers no resistance as they break in the door. Let's see here. We got an upper level and a ground floor. So our heroes break in to probably the side door. I think they're probably not going to be like doing this in front of a bunch of people. So they break in the door and walk in. Henrik's in his craft room, essentially, where he's manufacturing the coffins, and he just holds up his hands as they walk in, and he shakes his head and he says, the bones, they are up in the locked cabinet and up in my room at the top of the stairs. Hang a right. Alright, so the group, I think Ismark will stay below with Irina. And Dendor, Marina, and Astrid will go up the stairs. They'll enter. Yeah, so they come up the stairs. They hang a right into this kind of dining area. Yeah, it's like this little kitchen, and then enters Henrik's bedroom. They see the modest bedchamber holds a cot and several well-made pieces of furniture, including a table, a padded chair, a bookshelf, and a wardrobe. Marina will go to the wardrobe, and she'll basically pry it open with double 18s. Wow, good roll. So she pries open the door. It snaps the lock, essentially, and she finds a bag in there that she grabs. She looks inside, and she can see the bones of St. Andrel just kind of stacked inside it, so she wraps it up tight. Does she have... Yeah, she has plenty of space. So she has the bones of St. Andrel. Let's go ahead and note that. And the party will come back downstairs. In the meantime, Ismark and Henrik are speaking. Ismark's demanding, why would you do this? Why would you take these bones? They were providing a service to these people. And Henrik says, times are hard. I needed the money, and I met a nobleman, Vasily van Holtz, who paid me. And the group, as Marina walks up, she says, "We have them," and she holds up the bones. And Henrik will cover his face, probably embarrassed, basically. And he looks up at the ceiling and he says, "Please, you must take me to the church." Now the group, that's an interesting request. Ismark will say, "What, you seek the Morning Lord's forgiveness for stealing the bones of one of his most important saints?" And Henrik says, "No, it's that this place, the nobleman that visited me, he has some vampires up above in the coffins." And the group freezes, basically. And then they'll quietly make their way toward the exit back into the sunlight, basically. The question is, are they stopped by the vampires? Or do the vampires come down? Or what? How are they going to handle that? Do the vampires hear? Well, it's daytime. They're in their coffins, so no big deal. Ismark says, "I should leave you here for your fate. They will eat you alive for betraying them." So Ismark's in favor of leaving the man. Irina tries to console her brother. She says, "Please, Ismark. It is indeed a hard time. He was just trying to make his life work for him." So, does she have the ability to cool him down with a charisma check? We'll call that probably at advantage because she's his sister. With a 19 roll. Alright, Ismark calms down a little bit. And the group exits the building. And Ismark will say, "I do not care where you go, Henrik. But if you do this again, you will meet an untimely end, either by vampire fangs or my blade. You put a great deal of people in danger today, including my sister. You took her safe place from me. I will not forget this, Henrik." And the party will head to the church. Henrik will be wise enough to give them some time, and then he will close and lock the door, and he will head along with them. Astrid says, "What should we do with the vampires in the building?" Marina will say, "We can't very well burn the building down. That will immediately draw the attention of the guard. We're already kind of on a thin ice as the party walks. I think it would probably be wise to approach that once we're more fully armed." And the party gets to the church, and they find Father Lucian inside. And Marina will take the bones out of her bag and hand them to her, and to the Father Lucian very gently, basically. And she'll say, "The bones of St. Andrew." And Father Lucian will double check them. He does verify that they are indeed there. And he says, "I cannot thank you enough. I will get these placed back in the back where they belong, in the basement. And St. Andrew will once again protect this church. Again, I cannot thank you enough. You are welcome here always." And I think we'll end it there, folks. And that's it for this session. A little bit longer today, 54 minutes, can you believe? Well, about. Now, there's a couple of things that we encountered here that we dealt with that I wanted to touch on. We did get a item of great value. So if you've been following along, you know that we're just using the Shadowdark rules. So I want to look at awarding XP. It's not something that I normally do, but we haven't hit like a huge milestone until this moment. We managed to get a couple of things. So XP for treasure quality. Our group got that silvered sword, so everybody gets 1 XP off of that silver sword. You can see here it says bag of gold, gem, fine armor, magic scroll. Fabulous is like a magical sword, that kind of thing. So everybody will get 1 XP from that silver sword that Marina is now wielding. On top of that, they did just get the Bones of St. Andrew, which is phenomenal. I'm going to call that a legendary item. There's only one of them that exists, and it's a phenomenal find. So everybody's going to get 10 experience points there for a grand total of 11. Trying to think if there's anything else that we got going on. Let's see. Characters gain XP from valuable treasures and boons they earn during their adventures. So let's see here. Is there anything else? I'm tempted to give them a couple of experience points for getting Gertruda to safety, but also there's probably some story bits that I kind of want to play around with Gertruda there. So there's that. I think that's probably good enough. I think 11 experience points, pretty solid. So yeah, we'll give each of our heroes 11 experience points. And they're that much closer to leveling up to level 3, which is phenomenal. And then from here, they'll probably be looking at trying to find a thief to help them out with stealing some stuff from the Burgomaster. That should be good. So we'll take it from there, folks. I appreciate you being around, sticking around for almost an hour of solo play. Thanks again. And I appreciate you guys being here. So take care, treat each other well, and good luck out there, friends.